Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Tuesday night to join me. I really do appreciate it. This morning, I got a notification on my phone, and it was a relive memory sort of Google photo notification in app thing, you feel me? And, anyways, checked it out. It turns out that, and then ironically later on this evening, I looked into some of my notes as I'm cleaning my room and stuff, and we're approaching 1 year on the channel. So I don't know if we're going to make it to 1,000 videos before, I believe, the 21st. So I do think that last year I started this channel on or around 420. So shout out to year ago me for, having the foresight to, kind of like put this all into perspective and bring it all full circle. And you know how we do here. It's your boy, Albert. So, again, thanks a lot for joining. Tonight, we're talking about a couple of different things as they both pertain to analogically sort of talking about, how catchy sport phrases are relevant in life and how, this may just be an improvised motivational speech. So buckle in. It can't get any more worse than it already started, which, leaves little room for any kind of better stuff. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm talking about, but all right, so here's the thing. I was having a conversation the other day with someone, and I asked them their preference as to whether or not they like to close or open. Now, again, in and of itself, this would quite literally mean a conversation, amongst coworkers at work in a professional setting, or it could mean something, more than that, as it is kind of just like, what do you prefer? What's your way of being your best self? Are you a morning person, or are you a late night person that roams around, and does that kind of a thing? Because I feel like, categorically speaking, right, we're often like kind of all over the place, and sometimes in life we follow certain rules that are, arbitrary for sure, but most people sleep at night, most people work during the day. This is kind of a common collective. Now, the cool thing about the future and the cool thing about the present day is we're currently experiencing, a kind of shift. And if it weren't people like the criminal, I mean, the president running things right now, we might actually be able to get things done, right? And so, as I mean, like, the idea that things should be open all the time, and if money's just fake, and if life is a game, then why can't we play it all the time? Why do things and why do laws exist that say that we can't go out and, do all of these different types of things? It makes it almost feel like super dystopian when you think about it. The lack of things that are open, for example, past 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I mean, just for safety's sake, I mean, people do get hungry past 8 o'clock. That's all that I'm saying, right? So, moreover, going back to that conversation I was having, do you prefer to close or open, right? And so I think that in my life, I've learned, from all of the different things that I do or that I have done or experienced, all the failures, the few amount of successes in there, it's just, I prefer closing. I'm the guy that, this is my modality in life. I'm not the guy to do anything at all, really, from, 10 a.m. to about 6 p.m. I'm just, it's not for me. The world, the 9 to 5ers can keep their, perspective and their sort of caricatures as it concerns putting their costumes on and stuff, right? Because I'm trying to put mine on at night. And like I feel like we live in a world or in a country or in an economic era or whatever BS argument boomers want to give us, where they make, real stringent rules as it pertains to making things happen, even if it's not directly making them happen. So when the economy sucks and boomers claim there's no money floating around, people get hurt, like literally harmed by that, right? Businesses close earlier, people get shorter hours. I mean, it really doesn't impact those fools, but it definitely impacts everyone else, right? And so, again, just speaking in the broader sense of things, connecting it to sports, putting it into a life kind of an example, I like to close, that's kind of, I'm 37 years old, and it's only taken me this long to figure out that I'm a night guy. As much as I love early morning, as much as I love, taking walks out on the beach. I mean, the arroyo. What are you joking? You think I like the ocean? Anyways, no, I'm good. I'll chill next to a riverbank in a desert any day. But regardless, I'm just saying that closing and opening are just entirely two different mentalities. And unless you're great, I feel like it can't be done successfully, both things. You got to focus on one thing. There's very few Michael Jordans, and that's kind of where that sports iteration comes from, right? And moreover, Kevin Durant recently had caught some slack for tweeting out, I even hate like sourcing or citing tweets, right? Like, I got to give any credit to the most evil person that's ever decided to give a presidential criminal candidate a handful of money so that we can make up some position. Anyways, that's a different story. But, closing and opening, I just think that there's importance in both those things. And with Michael Jordan thing, very few of us are able to be dominant our entire careers and whatever that is, right? And just moreover our life, because Michael Jordan's still the GOAT. He still kills it, and the guy still is a conversation in a lot of people's homes 30 years after he's retired. Maybe it's not been that long. I'm just saying, you see what I'm saying? There's very few people like that. I mean, come on. Or a lot of us probably talk about Jesus at the table too. You feel me? He's a pretty popular guy too. I'm just saying that, like, unless you have the fortune and privilege and the circumstance to completely dominate anything that you're in life, which very few people do, then you got to kind of bring it back and decide whether or not you want to be, a Garcia Parra, a Nomar, right? Or if you want to be like a Kerry Wood. And again, historically, they all each have their own role to play in being the best kind of life that one can experience, 20 strikeout game, near perfect. There's 27 batters, to put that into perspective. I know these are loose references, but Kerry Wood's 20K strikeout game in the mid 90s is just a perfect and prime example of, how beautiful the world can be, and how when odds are stacked against you or us or an individual, it's not just hope that we speak of, but actual empirical data that gives us a chance, right? I mean, there's something about, I guess, hope and improbable that are sometimes interchangeable. But I feel like if there's a probability, no matter how small that is, or no matter how likely it is that it won't occur, it's still worth giving a shot. Just because the world's on fire doesn't mean you can't be your best self. Just because you feel a certain type of way, I mean, and that's kind of the thing with employment and things like that, is you really got to think about when you are your best self. No one wants to work with a person in the morning that isn't a morning person. You know what I mean? That's all that I'm saying, is just like there's different degrees to this kind of stuff. And moreover, going back to that Kevin Durant, reference in there, and I got all kind of sidebars because of the Elon Musk ownership and said product or whatever. After all, Twitter is a product. Anyways, defense wins championships. And statistically speaking, there is some relevance to that very statement. You can be as good as you want to be. You can be the Michael Jordans of the world, and yet you still can't achieve all of those things, including the things that Michael Jordan continues to achieve to this day, without a good supporting cast, and without being a part of a team, and without understanding your role. And if that role is to close, if that role is to open, if that role is to midday it, own it. Make sure that it's symbolic of your best self. It's emblematic, rather, of your best self. Again, because it's not worth anyone's time doing anything, not like the complete right way. And I just think that sometimes we collectively as people are stupid for choosing to do things at certain times. I know how stupid this may sound, but like, this could be very serious. I'm just saying, like, are you an opener or are you a closer? And again, I prefer closing. Closing's a better responsibility for me. I just like knowing, and I like going to bed, knowing that things have been done to the standard that I've set for those things to be done. And while it might be counterintuitive, the professional side of me actually prefers to do things the absolute right way, and contrary again to my whole, character here on screen that I just kind of espouse all of the doing nothingness principles, right? And so all of it I do mean, actually. It's just a huge trolling thing. Anyway, to break character here, hey, listen, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for watching my show every single night. It's kind of the whole thing for me. I like doing this. I guess I would not be true to myself if I continued to do things that I didn't like. I mean, I'm not that stupid, I might be stupid, but yeah. So it's been fun. My life continues to be just as uneventful as I'd like it to be. I don't even know where the mailbox is. I mean, my life I really try to keep as simple as possible. I just vacuumed. These are the highlights of my day. I'm about to go make some cornbread. I mean, again, like I'm all right. I'm not living in mansions, or I'm not starting any new trends on TikTok, you feel me? But I'm doing vlogs every single night, and we're approaching a year anniversary of a channel that I started that has now almost amassed well over 35,000 views. And that wouldn't at all be possible if it weren't for people like you watching these vlogs. So I appreciate it. I spend a good majority of all my free time watching other creators, listening to them, being a part of the conversation, trying to learn new things, trying to keep myself informed, as much as I can, so that I don't sound too stupid. I mean, again, like, there's super stupid, and then there's just like, you can't even watch that kind of stupid. So until I get to that Trump level, I appreciate it. I would never be that stupid. All right, guys. All right. Anyways, I don't know of anybody who could. I think if you tried to be that stupid, I think very few people in history will ever achieve the Trump stupid standard. I'm just saying, no disrespect, and obviously no hate. I'm just exercising the freedom that's been bestowed upon me by the Constitution. I know it's not something that, you might not, like, follow. You might not believe in, seeing as though you don't follow or believe in any law that's ever been, anyways, long sidebar. Let's not get into it. Anyway, yeah, so things are going all right, just about as slow as I'd like them to go, and food's really expensive. And just a friendly reminder, when you wake up tomorrow, groceries might be twice as much as they were this morning, right? Almost twice as much as they were yesterday morning. Yesterday I noticed, and I did not need to watch the news to notice things were changing in the real world. So stay tuned for that. IRL, as the world continues to burn, and a loaf of bread's gonna cost $7. I'm just saying, you don't think it's a big deal now, but when you want a loaf of bread to make some sandwiches or something, and you think it's only $2, it's gonna be a shocking little surprise to everyone. So good luck to us all. Anyways, I hope that you guys have a really awesome night. Thank you for watching my show again. If you're not already, smash the subscribe button, make sure notifications are on so that you can watch this lovely face jump on your screen just as soon as my videos are posted, right? Because what other kind of a world would we want to live in? One where that's not a possibility? I don't think so. Anyways, this is all, I'm just, even as I say these things, that's why I can't control my laughter sometimes, But I can barely breathe right now. I got a whole lot of things going on. I gotta go. My name is Albert. This is Vlogs About Nothing, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.